Welcome. Really now, let's do this. Hi everybody, welcome to the dungeon. This is Robin. I'm Robin. I am so tongue-tied today. Okay, welcome. I can't even say welcome. Okay, let's try that again. Welcome. Okay, let's do that again. Welcome to the dungeon, everybody. This is Lampworking 101 Point Clouds. I'm going to make clouds today. I've done this so many times that at this point, I hope you enjoy it. See you guys.
Chapter 4, The Tower. 1. Eddie Dean was sitting in a chair. The chair was in a small white room. It was the only chair in the small white room.
Ooh, we just got serious all of a sudden, so let's get into it. On this first cloud bead, I'm going to roll up the mandrel probably 6 or 7 beads or footprints wide. And then I am just going to continue to add the white glass until I've formed a large round bead. And I'm going to do this with my real quick, just turning in the flame with the bead underneath until I have as much as I need. This will give you a very large amount very quickly. Done. It's all about heating very evenly until I get a wonky shape. Doesn't have to be perfect because the end shape is going to be a cloud. And then I'm going to add my blue, and I'm going to start on both sides, both edges, and put a couple wraps on one edge and a couple wraps on the other, just to make sure that it is actually going to flow down and meet the mandrel at some point. And then I like to add the glass on these very haphazardly, kind of missing some of the areas, not completely encasing it, but almost maybe 99%. But I always like to have a little bit of white show through, because that white will lift up to the top and give you an interesting background. Now at this point, we're going to roll the whole thing up, or heat the whole thing up into a round, or a roundish shape, and then we're going to flatten it using the Marver, the graphite pad, and just a gentle flatten until you get the cloud, kind of a cloud, a wide shape of sky, and then it's just heating the chill marks, flattening gently to even it out, and heating out the chill marks. Then we can start adding our clouds. I'm just shaping it up just a little bit here, but not too much. I like that puffiness on the bottom. Now I am using an ivory because it does react with the blue. And the way I do it is just stick a little bit of ivory on and give it a up and down and a swipe over. So it's like you're going up and down and then just pulling out to create these cloud shapes. It's really, really simple. Almost like you're pushing the glass on top of itself and then slowly pulling away. And every time I do this little squiggle, it just looks like a nice little puffy white cloud. So we'll finish this, give it a few more, and then we'll flatten these out using a knife. So make sure you have your little butter knife. We don't have to flatten them out too much, but I do want them to be part of the bead itself, not too raised up. And the reason why is because this whole bead is going to be shaped into the form of a cloud itself. All right, now forming the cloud will also get those other clouds to melt in a little bit more. And I'm just heating one spot and using a butter knife to create some grooves on the side and also pushing them slightly apart from each other. I heat and I do my score. I do that a couple times. And I don't do it in too many areas because then it starts to kind of look a little fake. And now that I have those grooves, I can focus on just certain areas that I want to be a little longer, and I'll use this quick rotation to fling or elongate some of that glass real quick. You can see right here is a really great example. Heating both sides, and then I give it a quick turn. See, it doesn't take much, especially if it's really hot. And that is our cloud-shaped bead. A little flattening. Make sure that you heat any chill marks that may happen at this point. And we're done with feature 1. Do you see how I use my little tiny blade here just to crimp in a little bit for the finished piece? Awesome. On to the next one. So this bead is more of a cloud that is in a cage. And I liked the way this bead looks because it's like you have a little piece of the cloud. And this shape is going to be round. So I'm just going to start out with my base of white, making a round small. We're going to start small. And then on top of that, we're going to add our blue. I always like to add any transparency on top of white because it just really brings out the color. And here I am doing my haphazard, sloppy squiggle all the way around the bead, making sure that all the glass is evenly put on. So I'm feeding my rod right into the flame. And now it is time to give this a really nice reheat. I heat my sides up sometimes. I'm trying to find all those darker spots so I can start heating them up and match the brighter spots so everything starts to come up to temperature at the exact same time. And that's what's happening now. And when you're finished, you bring it out, let it cool down, and we're going to add our clouds again. This is exactly the same method that I used in the first feature. Just a little bit of ivory, and I decided that what this is kind of like a squiggle with a pull. There's so many ways to try to say what you're doing, and it's not an easy thing. But that's the best I can do. It's a squiggle and a pull. And I'll just fill in the whole little area of sky. And then on this one, I'm just going to heat the whole thing up. I'm not going to worry about flattening it out with my butter knife or anything. Just make sure that it's an even heat and you don't warp the pattern. And we'll let that cool down, and we're going to make our edges. So for the edge, I have a small, well, it's kind of a thick stringer, and I will add it right to the mandrel's edge. And then I will slowly heat it up and coil it onto the bead itself. You can make a larger bit of black and then push it onto the bead and make it a little different, but I wanted to have this like very, very flat. And I'll use I'll do that twice. Once I have the first bit flattened, I'll put another coil on top. Don't put too much or it'll really cover up all that work you just did with the clouds. Here I'm just evening up that black and where it meets. And then this is where I mess up. So I'm using the butter knife to kind of lift it up, and I cut into that black on the very edge, but I'm not worried because I have learned that the Dremel tool will take that right off when you go to clean the bead out. So just let it go if that happens. And then I'll work on the other side, add my second coil. This side comes out much nicer, the way it should be done. And then I use my knife just to gently push down. And now it's time to add our cage. And I use a same thick stringer, and I apply it to one side of the black, and I run it across to the other side of the black, making sure that I attach on both sides of the black as evenly as possible, and that will give you kind of a seamless look. And we're not going to melt these down. We're just making sure that we're securing them onto the bead so they don't break later on. And then just pushing these areas down will give you a nicer look. You won't see that so much. But what I like to do on these little beads is add some nice big dots on both ends, and that will give our little globe of the sky something to sit on if you choose not to wear it. And that's it, you guys. Our double feature is just about over. I hope you enjoyed it. I love making these beads. Really, really was happy with these. I hope you guys try it, and we'll see you next time on another episode. Take care.